One of the best features of Property Funnels is that it has an automatic data feed. And what that means is when you have a client coming into the system from your website or Prop24 or private property, it automatically feeds into your database. So that's one of the coolest things, that you don't have to go and double the work. It is already done for you. Let's take a look at where you will find those people that comes into the system from your automatic data feed.
Perhaps explaining how this works would also be quite helpful at this point. So we have an automation that is contained into two different parts. Ignore that it just says P24 autoresponder. This will apply for private property, your website, Property24, as well as any other portals that you are currently listed on. The first step is an autoresponder. So when somebody is on a portal or on your website and they make a property inquiry, they are automatically added to your database, so back inside your contacts. We also assign a tag to them, for example, private property, Property24, MO Africa, website, whatever the tag may be, that adds them to this campaign, which is an autoresponder campaign. And depending on your account, you either have WhatsApp and email, or you only have email connected. At the very least, an email will be sent to the buyer or to the potential tenant in real time. So while they're on the portal, while they're on your website, it will acknowledge and it will ask them a series of potential questions. For example, if they need assistance with bond financing, or are they a cash buyer? There's many things that we can do with this, so that again we can enrich your database even better. But also over this is that it is assigned to the listing agent, and that communication will come from the listing agent if that is the intention of the agency principal. The automation also has a follow-up sequence. So, for example, 2 days after that email was first sent or that WhatsApp was sent, and if the person didn't respond, the system will send them a follow-up to see if there's anything else that you can do to assist them. If they still don't respond, they are added to 100-day portal follow-ups. Now, the benefit here is that sometimes many buyers are browsers first, and it can take them up to 3 to 6 months before they ever really pull the trigger on a property. At the beginning, when they're inquiring, they may just potentially be looking at the market, seeing what they can afford, seeing what's out there, looking at a range of properties. But if your communication with them stopped then manually, you're going to miss out on the opportunity to help this person perhaps 4 months down the line. And we do find that a lot of potential buyers actually do come back to our clients or to those agents that have this already set up inside their Property Funnels account. So from a principal perspective and from a sales management perspective, having the ability to communicate with buyers who inquired 4 months ago is hugely valuable, because you still spent money acquiring those leads, but you were never able to really fully capitalize on those leads because you weren't able to either reach them, or they were not ready to purchase, and potentially you lost them to another agency. Now, with this feature installed, your buyers or your tenants will be followed up with automatically without the agent needing to do any of this manually. So where you would find your portal inquiries would again be inside your contact database. So again, they will still be in your contact database. All your contacts are always added here. And you will have a bucket called portal leads. And if you click on, for example, the portal leads, all the leads from the portals will be inside the CRM, inside that bucket. If you click on those leads, so let's, for example, just click on as the first time buyer here, we'll also be able to see the data on the buyer. For example, what was the Property24 listing URL? So which property did they inquire on? The web reference of that property, the price of that property. All of these data points help you to see exactly where this person is shopping. Are they shopping for a 1 million, 2 million, 3 million rand property? And again, it helps you group your database. So you would find that underneath the portal inquiries custom fields. So if we just scroll down here, we'll see portal fields. We capture the listing address, we capture the price, we capture the listing URL, and we automatically add a note to that contact record with this data in there, because sometimes people inquire on one property today and they might inquire on a second property of a different agent the next day. So we keep track of those property inquiries by adding them to the notes section. There you'll be able to see the price, you'll be able to see the listing URL, as well as the listing address and the web reference of that property. So that way you're always up to date with what this potential buyer has been looking at of your agency listings or of your own listings if you have inquired on more than one, as well as that personal touch of communicating with those people as and when they make inquiries.
Are you getting an idea of how powerful Property Funnels is and everything that you can do? So think of Property Funnels as your PA, and there's so many things that you can tell Property Funnels to do for you. One of the best things that it can do for you is it can set appointments and your calendars. Now, in the beginning, when David showed us how do you go about setting up your profile, he talked a little bit about those calendars. But let's go and take a look at how do your clients actually get to set an appointment with you, and how do they know what is available when it comes to when they want to view a particular property?
So your calendars are inside the settings of your Property Funnels account. You can easily create your own calendar, or you may potentially already have a calendar set up for you. So I'm going to quickly just show you how to set up a very simple calendar, how to ensure that you have that link and that you can share that link with potential clients. So inside the settings section, scroll down to calendars and click on create calendar. You have a lot of options of calendars to choose from. Perhaps the most user-friendly one and the one that we suggest you use would be the round robin calendar, and you can be a team of one on a calendar like this. So you're going to click on round robin, select, give it a name. You could use, for example, your own name. So let's just make up a fictitious agent's name. So we'll just call this person Billy Bob, and you can add a description if you would like to. So for example, if this is your buyer calendar, you can just put a quick description when they access the calendar. It'll say Billy Bob, and the description will be helping you buy property in insert suburb name. So let's just write helping you buy in select team members. So you're going to select yourself. You can also select multiple, but this one will be just for you. And you can set up a custom URL so that you can remember the actual calendar link should you want to. So we're going to just call this one Billy Bob and see if it's not already taken. It's not taken. Set up the meeting duration. So if all your meetings generally are 30 minutes long, you can set up the duration like that, or you can make it, for example, 45 minutes, whatever you choose. You can ensure that your calendar is available on any one of these days, or remove, for example, Fridays if you'd like to, between these times. And because your duration of your meeting is 30 minutes, the last appointment on this calendar would be 4:30 p.m. because your calendar ends at 5 p.m. And if you would like to make a later time, simply click on the time over here and make it a little bit later, for example, 8 p.m. And then what you're going to do is you can click on confirm. When you click on confirm, you've now successfully created a new calendar for yourself. If you click here and copy this link, that would be your Property Funnels calendar, for example, buyers. So if we just copy this and we open it up in a new tab, we'll get a feel for what that calendar would look like. And you can further customize your calendar. You can put in a profile picture of yourself here, and you can also change the color scheme of the calendar. But what we can see here is an easy way. If I share this link with my potential clients, I can easily now give them this link. And if I have my calendar integrated, remember under your profile section, you can connect your primary calendar, whether that's your Outlook calendar, your iCloud calendar, or your Google calendar, whichever one you prefer. It's going to obey that. It's going to look to see, are you available on these days and at those times? So if I select, for example, Tuesday the 12th, I can select any one of these times. So for example, if I want a 5:30 p.m., I'm going to enter my details here, my phone number and my email address, and I can also enter any additional information too, as well as confirm that you want to receive content from the company. When they click schedule meeting, what will happen is that that appointment will be automatically assigned to you, and you will receive a notification that you've got a new appointment request, as well as the person booking the appointment receiving confirmation of that appointment, as well as reminders up until that appointment is actually due. So that way they don't forget to show for the appointment, or they give the ability to let you know should they not be able to make it. So a very easy way to ensure that you're always getting appointments as opposed to just prospecting and phoning people, but actually meeting with people. Because the more conversations we can have with real people in real life, the more opportunities we've got to sell them our value proposition, whether that's to sell their property or to help them purchase their next property.
Have you ever been frustrated that you have all these multiple inboxes? You have messages on Facebook, you have messages on WhatsApp, then you have some emails, and then they send you an SMS. And then when you're looking for the detail that you need, you can't remember where they send it. And then what happens is you have to go to all these different places to find out what was the message from a particular client. Well, Property Funnels has got you sorted. They have a unified inbox, which means once you've connected all your portals to the Property Funnel system, all you have to do is log into one place, and all the messages from all the other platforms will be within your Property Funnel system, saving you time and making sure you have record of every single conversation you've ever had with your clients. Let's take a look at how the unified inbox works.
One of my favorite features is the unified inbox, and it's exactly that. Say goodbye to the scatter. You've got a conversation with somebody on WhatsApp, you've got a conversation with somebody on, let's say, SMS, you've got a conversation with somebody on email, you've got a conversation with a person potentially on Facebook Messenger, your Instagram DMs, your Google Business Chat. Property Funnels combines all of those channels into one unified inbox, which means that if a person has chosen or shows a preference to a specific communication channel, you can now customize your communication with them on their preferred channel. And best of all, you can also manage all conversations in one place. No longer having to go to WhatsApp to see what they said on this date or email to see what they said on this date. All those conversation threads are contained in the single contact record. So what we can see in front of us here is the various kinds of inboxes that apply. You've got your unread box. So these would be new conversations that are incoming into the account. That could be, for example, a Property 24 inquiry came in, the autoresponder went out, the person replied. It will be inside your unread box, and you can also mark your conversation as read or, for example, starred if you would like to make it as an important conversation for you to follow up with. You have to manually mark a conversation as unread or as read, because sometimes you see a conversation, but you may not respond to that conversation. So simply clicking on it is not going to remove it from your unread box. Your recents tab is anything in the last 20 days. It's going to appear in your recents tab. Your starred messages are obviously messages that are important and maybe require a bit of follow-up or that you want to make stand out in your inbox. And then obviously the all box would contain all messages with the account to date. That's inbound as well as outbound. So if we look at this contact record, what we can see here is we've had some conversations with this client over a past couple of months, actually. You can see some emails going out. You can see some emails potentially coming in. And should they respond to any one of these emails, that conversation will now go back to unread, and you will have a little star on top of this, or you'll have it as a dark colored icon. Simply clicking on the email or the WhatsApp or the SMS or the message for that matter will show you what was sent to this person, as well as if they did reply. You can also get some metrics in terms of, was the message delivered? Did it fail? As well as, was it opened and was it replied to? These are all important metrics to ensure that you always know that your messages are actually being delivered to their inbox, as well as being opened and potentially actioned upon when you send them a message. You can also easily send either an SMS, email, or WhatsApp straight from Property Funnels directly to this contact, simply by clicking, for example, email. If I clicked on email, it's going to open up the email builder, and I can set a manual email to this person. So it's going to pre-fill with my name because I'm logged into my account. It'll be your name when you're logged into your account, your email address, whatever email you're logged in with, as well as who it's going to, the subject, as well as the message body itself. You can also attach documents. You can insert you can insert images, emojis, as well as use quick templates if you don't know always what to say, and maybe you've got some set templates to save yourself some time. Conveniently too, if we write a quick message here, we're just going to say hello, and let's just write hello again. Yeah, this may not apply so strongly to email because people don't really mind when they receive an email. But for example, if it's an SMS or WhatsApp communication, you might not want to send an email, an SMS or WhatsApp communication after hours to a potential client or to an existing client, or very early in the morning. But sometimes that's the only time you have available to set up your conversations and to set sort of a feedback loop with that person. So if I was writing this as an email or a WhatsApp and I wanted to schedule it for later in the day because I knew at 8 o'clock I was out on the road and then I was busy and I wasn't going to have time to send this, I can actually schedule this message for a future time or date. So simply clicking on this little clock icon means that I can now set to send this message at a later date and at maybe a more convenient time. So it's always going to default to the next day, but you can change the date to the current date too, provided, of course, the time is not passed already. So for example, if I wanted to send it today, but I wanted to do it at, let's make it at 6 o'clock. I'm going to select 6 p.m. I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to click Send Schedule. It's going to obey the time zone of the account. So if your time zone for your client is different, then change the time zone too. So for example, if they're overseas, you can update the time zone to be more in line with their time zone. I'm going to minimize this. And now you can see that I've got an email scheduled to go out to this person at 6 p.m. today. You can make changes to this. You can delete it, or you can, for example, override the schedule and send immediately should you want to. If you believe that you want to start this message, maybe for later, you can simply mark it as starred, or you can mark it as unread. You can also delete conversations entirely if you want to. So if it's a starred message, you can see all your starred messages have this little star at the top here. And if we go into the starred box now, we'll also see that conversation reflected inside our starred box too.
Opportunities. Opportunities is amazing because it tells you where in the pipeline your buyers or sellers are. So let's take a look at how we are going to use opportunities in the property funnel system.
So your opportunities are exactly that. They give you a bird's eye view visual representation of where your customer, where your lead, where your prospect is in relation to where you want them to go. So an example could be a valuation of a pipeline. So we use this often inside property funnels. Most clients have access to a valuation of a pipeline. And a pipeline is an easy way to manage the steps between when they become a lead all the way through to where you want them to go. So the way this works is little contact cards containing the lead's details or the opportunity name with the lead associated to it are easily movable cards that you can move yourself, or through automation, some of these cards actually automatically move. When you click on an opportunity card, you can get further details about who the person is and what that opportunity is about. So firstly, you will see who the contact is that opportunity. You will also get to customize the name of the opportunity itself. Some people prefer having the address of the client or some other metric as a standard name for their opportunities. Other people prefer to have the contact name or a combination of both. You can also update the stages as well as the various pipeline that this person is in, the status of that opportunity, which could either be open, closed, lost, or abandoned, as well as the value of that opportunity. You can quickly see who the owner of the opportunity is, whether it's you or a colleague, and you can add other followers to that opportunity so that they can help manage it. Think of, for example, people who or agents who work in teams. You're going to have a primary owner, and you want your team members to also be able to manage and view certain people as they go through an opportunity pipeline. Remember, your opportunity value is also important on your dashboard. It's reflected on the dashboard because it gives you that opportunity to see how much money is actually sitting in the business that isn't currently converted. How much commission do I potentially have that could pay out if I could get this client all the way from a new lead through to an appointment or even a showed up appointment? What do I need to do to get this person from a new lead stage all the way to where I want them to be, which is at the very least a confirmed and showed up appointment, because that's your best opportunity to sell your value proposition to this person. And again, your opportunity pipeline helps you organize a lot of data. Right now, it's easily manageable, one lead inside your pipeline. But what if we added 20, 30, 40 more people to this pipeline? It would become very difficult to know how many of those 40 people are new leads, how many of those 40 people are my hot leads, how many of those 40 people have requested a booking with me, and how many of those people have actually signed up, have actually signed the mandate. Without a pipeline that is managed and manageable, it's going to make your life a lot harder if you don't have a system like this. Thankfully, a lot of what this is in front of you is actually an automated process based on different triggers. So your new leads are any lead generation efforts taking place either across Facebook or email campaigns or landing page campaigns. Your follow-up sequences are for those people who you've spoken to them potentially on the phone, but maybe they are not ready to sell right now. So by simply moving this card into either the 3 to 6 or 6 to 9 month follow-up campaign means that for at least up to the next 9 months, this person is going to be nurtured as if it's coming from you with relevant real estate related content via email. Again, another way to nurture the database when you're dealing with a lot of people, but not having the ability to do it all manually and all by yourself. So your pipelines give you that opportunity to easily see, manage, and visualize where people are in your business and what you need to do to get them to where you want them to be. For example, an appointment or a listing presentation.